The Samsung Galaxy S24 series is finally coming with a new design on top of many other upgrades, and this is shaping up to be an incredible phone from Samsung. Let me know in the comments what you most want to see from the new S24 series. So first up, before we get into the exciting stuff, there's been a lot of conflicting information when it comes to the battery capacities of the S24 series, but we've now got clarification thanks to certification as well as photos. The certification confirms that the Galaxy S24 Plus has a rated capacity of 4,755, while the S24 Ultra has a rated capacity of 4,855 mAh, and this means that the typical capacity that's going to be marketed for the Ultra is going to be about 5,000 mAh, so it's exactly the same as last year. Next up, we've got a tweet from Ice Universe, and he confirms that the Galaxy S24 Ultra is going to weigh 233 grams thanks to its new titanium alloy frame, and the titanium is not only going to be stronger and more durable, but it's also going to make the phone look a lot more premium. But to be fair, 233 grams is only 1 gram less than last year, so you're really not going to notice the difference in weight. Now, we've also got a tweet from Ice Universe, and he advises there's a big upgrade to the 3x telephoto camera. And he says we're going to get a 50 megapixel 0.7 micrometer 1/2.52 inch sensor. While it was initially rumored that it would be upgraded to a 5x telephoto, Ice Universe says that they're going to be using the zoom from this 50 megapixel to get great 5x photos with the 3x telephoto. We've also got news of a new 440 megapixel mobile sensor from Samsung that's coming in 2024, but this is definitely not going to be used for the S24 series, and it's more than likely going to be used by Chinese manufacturers next year. Next up, we've got news that both the Galaxy S24 and the S24 Plus are going to be getting a redesign, and although the front and the rear are going to look very similar to last year, they're going to be changing to a new flat edge design. Now, the news again comes from reliable leaker Ice Universe, and he's also provided these photos, but the photos are actually of the Meizu 20, but what you can expect is something that looks like the S23 on the front and back, but with the size of an iPhone 14. Now, we've also got a new concept trailer published by 4RMD on YouTube, and this shows us the Galaxy S24 Ultra with this new flat-edge titanium design. But Ice Universe made no mention of the S24 Ultra, and it's looking like there's going to be no changes in terms of the actual design for the Ultra, and it's just going to be titanium instead of the aluminium, and this is simply just a made-up concept trailer. It's also looking very likely that Europe's getting the Exynos chipset in the S24 series, and a new leak confirms it's a 10-core CPU with the Xclipse 940 GPU, and while it will be an improvement over previous Exynos chipsets, it's not going to be as powerful as the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. Now, it does however have a feature for two-way satellite communication, which further backs up previous rumors that Samsung are going to be adding it to the S24 lineup. Now, we've also got another tweet from Ice Universe, and he says that the Galaxy S24 Ultra has finally been given an upgrade to the display. While he doesn't give any further information, a new report from Chosen Media does shed some light. Their report says that the S24 series is going to be using Samsung's M13 AMOLED panels. These are going to be thinner and more power efficient, and they've got a better overall picture quality, as well as offering higher levels of brightness. While we don't know the exact details of the display just yet, it's estimated that it could offer an incredible 2,500 nits of peak brightness. Now, for those of you excited for the Galaxy S24 series, we're now going to run through the full specs, design, and the pricing to help you guys decide which one is right for you. For my regular viewers, you guys have seen this, so just skip to the next video. But if you're new here, then don't forget to hit subscribe and we'll get right into it. Now, the standard Galaxy S24 is coming with a 6.1-inch 120Hz dynamic AMOLED display. We get a resolution of 2340 by 1080, and it's going to be using Samsung's new M13 OLED panels protected by Gorilla Glass Victus 2. We get a 12 megapixel punch-hole camera for the selfies, then on the rear it's a 50 megapixel primary camera, a 12 megapixel ultra-wide, and a 10 megapixel telephoto, and of course it's going to be powered by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 in South Korea and USA, while European users are going to be getting the Exynos 2400. We get 12GB of RAM and a choice of 256 or 512GB storage, and this is going to be a UFS 4.1. It comes with a 3,900 mAh battery, and while fast charging is still unknown, we're hoping to see an upgrade to something like 40 watts, but we do know that we're getting 5G, Bluetooth 5.3, and Wi-Fi 7. Now it's coming with One UI 6 based on Android 14, and it's expected to launch from about $850 to $900, and that's going to be in February 2024. Now next up, we've got the Galaxy S24 Plus with a 6.6-inch 120Hz dynamic AMOLED display. We get a resolution of 2340 by 1080, and it's going to be using Samsung's new M13 OLED panel, and again protected by Gorilla Glass Victus 2. We get a 12-megapixel punch-hole camera for the selfies, then on the rear, again it's a 50-megapixel primary, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide, and a 10-megapixel telephoto. It's going to be powered up by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 in South Korea and USA, and again, Europe users are going to get the Exynos 2400, and again, we get 12GB of RAM, and then the choice of 256 or 512 storage, which will be UFS 4.1. It comes with a 4700 mAh battery, and while fast charging again is unknown, we're hoping to see an upgrade to something like 40 watts, and again, we get 5G, Bluetooth 5.3, and Wi-Fi 7. It's coming with One UI 6 based on Android 14, and it's expected to launch from about $1,050. Now finally, we've got the most premium, the Galaxy S24 Ultra. And with the S24 Ultra, we've got a 6.8-inch 120Hz dynamic AMOLED display. It's got a resolution of 3088 by 1440, and again it's using Samsung's new M13 OLED panel, protected by Gorilla Glass Victus 2. We get a 12-megapixel punch-hole camera for the selfies, then on the rear it's a 200-megapixel primary camera, a 12-megapixel ultra-wide, we get a 50-megapixel 3x telephoto, as well as a 10-megapixel telephoto with 10x optical zoom. It's going to be powered up by the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 in South Korea and USA, with European users getting the Exynos 2400. And with the S24 Ultra, we get 16GB of RAM with up to 1TB of storage, and of course, it's UFS 4.1. It comes with a 5000 mAh battery, and while fast charging is still unknown, when it comes to the Ultra, we're hoping for an upgrade of something closer to 60 watts. We're also going to get 5G, Bluetooth 5.3, and Wi-Fi 7. Now it's coming with One UI 6 based on Android 14, and it's expected to launch from $1,250. So overall, the Galaxy S24 series is looking incredible, and as we've seen with every other manufacturer for the past couple of years, focus is on improving hardware and user experience with little change to the design. Now this means it's probably not going to be worth upgrading from the S23, but for anyone on an older S phone or getting their first S phone, then it's going to be a great choice. Now as we approach launch, more and more information is going to come flooding in, and I'll be sharing it as soon as it does, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a thing in the future.